Hi everyone, it's Ann at Martin House Flowers. In today's video, I'm attacking something not so pleasant. I feel as though I woke up overnight and found this white substance all over my Meyer Lemon Tree that we brought in from the greenhouse. And I swear I looked at it just the other day and it was perfectly fine. And today, lo and behold, there were aphids all over. And I was so happy to see all this new growth a week ago. And then what seemed like overnight, these aphids had attacked my lemon tree. Sorry about my voice. As you can tell, I've come up with a cold, having just come back from Toronto a couple days ago. So in any case, I decided to just carry out my lemon tree onto the front porch since it was sitting just behind the front door. And I checked my bottles of sprays in the garage, and luckily I had some organic insecticidal soap, and on the label it said that it took care of aphids. So I treated the lemon tree and sprayed it with this insecticidal soap. As you can see here, I sprayed every leaf and every branch, and here it is. It's Captain Jack's insecticidal soap. And to be honest, I think I gave it 3 treatments this afternoon. Thankfully, it was a beautiful, warm, sunny day, and I actually ended up taking these gloves off because the soap went through the gloves. But it was a little bit gross, to be honest, and I've never treated aphids to this degree. I've treated aphids on my roses, but this was pretty significant in its infestation, and it was a little concerning because it was indoors. And I'm used to seeing aphids outdoors, but I have no idea where they came from. We thought maybe they came from the soil, but in any case, it was a little concerning. It appeared that the aphids were attacking all of the new growth, and it seemed to really want to go after any flowers that were about to emerge and any of those new leaves. As you can see there, those buds, those white buds, they were covered all over with aphids. And I Googled it, and you're supposed to just, take a soapy substance and spray them, hose it down, or wipe them off. So I did all of that. I sprayed every leaf that I could see, every new sprout, every branch. I covered in this Captain Jack's insecticidal soap, and then I let it dry just with the sunlight. And I took Eddie for a walk. You probably heard him yelping behind the front door as he wanted to come out. And I let it dry in between each treatment, and then wiped off any aphids I could see, and basically gave it 3 separate treatments of this insecticidal soap, and then finally carried it back inside when I felt that there weren't any aphids left. Although when I brought it inside, I did happen to see a couple on some leaves, and I just picked them off. You'll see in a minute, I ended up taking several Kleenexes that I put in my pockets and just wiped them off because I felt like that was the closest that I could get at them, was with a Kleenex. This tree had been sitting in my holding area over by my potting bench all of the summer and into the fall. And then when winter came or the temperatures dropped, I carried it into the greenhouse, and it sat in the greenhouse until at least the month of January, I believe. And then when temperatures started dropping significantly and we could no longer afford to heat the greenhouse, we decided to actually carry the tree into the front foyer. I think, in fact, again, overnight, I saw the leaves curl, and I was really concerned about losing the tree to the frost. And I had actually defoliated a lot of the leaves that were all curly, and the leaves that you see there were the leaves that weren't affected by the cold weather, and new growth has started to come up, and I've probably noticed new growth for the past week or two. And then, I've been away for about a week, 8 days, and then just this morning saw the aphids, so I thought I would go at it right away. I had been growing thyme in the soil just surrounding the base of the tree, and it was so pretty all summer long. But because I thought the aphids might have come from the soil, I didn't want to risk leaving the thyme in the soil, and so I pulled out the 3 or 4 thyme plants that were acting like a ground cover, and also sprayed the soil a few times with the insecticidal soap. So I'm really hoping that that does the trick, and that I don't wake up tomorrow to more aphids, but we shall see. I'll keep you posted. Since it was a beautiful day, I decided it was time to also empty out my urns. I had finished off the urn on the right-hand side, but decided to film taking apart the second one. And although it's still too soon to work on my spring or Easter urn arrangement, I decided I might as well take advantage of the beautiful weather and remove all of the greenery and hydrangea and eucalyptus and all of the different greenery that I had set up here just a couple months ago. So there's the pile that was in that urn, and I decided to check out my topiary boxwood back here. This was the experiment where I kept this particular boxwood on the porch versus the two in front of the greenhouse I had decided to carry into the greenhouse. And I'll show you in a little bit the difference. I think you'll agree that that topiary might not be alive, whereas these two Chicago boxwoods at the front porch here, they might be okay. We shall see. So I decided to take a little walk around the front bed and after cleaning up and see what was coming up under all of the mulch, and look at that. I'm seeing some daffodils, and let's see, there's my Tchaikovsky rose that I need to come back and prune another day. Somehow I didn't defoliate, but look at those daffodils just starting to emerge. Those were planted a year ago, a year and a half ago, I guess, last fall. And not this past fall, but the fall before that. And I planted them in between my lavender. So there's the Meyer Lemon Tree back at the front door, behind the front door. And it's looking a lot cleaner now. I took another look at it, and I think I got the majority of the aphids off, and I'll check it again in the morning. Hopefully I won't have to carry this back out the front door because it's a little bit heavy. There might be an aphid right there that I ended up picking off. Oh, kind of gross. So since the day was so warm, especially at the south-facing front yard, I decided to help Greg out and take down Christmas trees or Christmas lights. And this tree, I tell you, is, thank goodness I'm wearing glasses because the leaves or the branches love to hit you right in the eye. I managed to get this tree, the lights off this tree, and that redbud tree in front there. I managed to get those two, but the crabapple tree, I left that. I started to do it, but I left it for Greg. You know, after all, I did set up all the lights this past Christmas. There are 3 trees in the front yard, and I think there's 11 across the back between evergreens and a lilac. I didn't do the redbud in the corner, but I believe I put lights on at least 10 or 11 across the back, plus a 3 here. So that would be 13 to 14 trees that I had put lights on all by myself. But of course, he had a good reason for not doing them for me this year, and that's because he was working on electrical in the greenhouse. He liked to remind me. In fairness, I had planned on taking the lights off this crabapple tree, but I realized that I couldn't reach all the way to the top, as you'll see in a minute, because I didn't have a ladder. And I was honestly just a little lazy to grab a ladder, and Greg had the ladder out back, I assumed. And I wanted to do a few other things like water my boxwood, my 3 boxwoods on the front porch, and sweep up the mess that I had made, and do a few things because it seemed to turn out to be a cleanup day outdoors. So here I am onto the 3rd tree on our front lawn, which is our redbud tree. It's funny that I didn't remember to film when I was setting up the lights in late November, early December, and I remember thinking that I was so proud of myself for having set up the lights on all 13 or 14 trees. So maybe this is why I decided to film taking down the lights. But in any case, it was a beautiful arrangement of lights. If you caught my previous holiday videos, maybe I'll include it, a little snip of how the lights look. In any case, I'm just so excited about spring coming, and I think in the next couple weeks I'll be working on decorating the front porch. I think I ordered a couple of new pillow covers for the iron chairs that are on my front porch, and of course I'll be doing some kind of a spring arrangement on the urns. Whether I do pansies again, I'm not sure. Probably. I love doing pansies in the spring. It's always in memory of my Aunt Sheila from Chicago that lived in Chicago. Pansies were her favorite. So I'm just going to think a little bit on it. And of course, I'm a little occupied mentally with my dad being in the hospital. And I was just honestly trying to keep busy today because I was really feeling guilty about not being back there and being in the hospital with him and spending time with him. And even though I had, spent 12 to 15 hour days with him over the past week, I was still feeling really, really sad about not being there. And so I kept busy today doing tasks around the house. And we were blessed today with a beautiful, warm day. So I hope you don't mind me sharing this video with you. So here we are in the greenhouse, and there's a big difference between these 2 boxwoods that I decided to carry into the greenhouse over the winter. And they are going to be fine. And there's Greg behind the weeping cypress tree. You can see the branches moving a little bit. Looks like he has a couple more trees left to do. Well, that's about it for today. Greg finished the rest of the trees and I started making chili for dinner, so I got to go inside. Thanks for joining me today.